Where's my thing not popping up? Let's wait for that to come up on the screen. There it is. Right. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and today I'm just going to go through some different things that I've been looking on Google. So I hope you enjoy the stream. I just want to show my respect for other trans people out there. So these are just some things that I've been looking at on Google, stuff like statistics of stuff like what trans people go through on a daily basis, basically. A TMM update, Trans Day of Remembrance 2019. 331 reported murders of trans and gender diverse people in the last year. 331 people murdered this year alone. You know what I mean? When is this ever going to stop? On the occasion of International Trans Day of Remembrance, TDOR, which is Trans Day of Remembrance, which is held on the 20th of November every year to remember trans people. I'm just sort of like reading something different, but sort of like Trans Day of Remembrance every year is to remember the people that go through hate crimes, the people that have been murdered. I'm just so shocked of sort of like how many numbers on this one. I saw this one before, and let's click onto this. Look, the 80s. Julie Doe was discovered in Lake County, Florida, alongside a roadside. Her remains have yet to be possibly identified, and the homicide is strongly suspected due to circumstances of her death. Venus Extravaganza was strangled to death in New York on the 21st of December. Her body was found 4 days later, shoved under a hotel bed. It's just so sad. Carla Lee was found stabbed to death in her apartment. A 45-year-old trans woman was killed in Paris, I can't pronounce that, in Barcelona by 6 skinhead Nazis who kicked her friend Doria repeatedly in the head whilst they were lying on the floor. Her death was a wake-up call to the Spanish LGBT movement, which began to publicly violence of the LGBT community. It's like, look how long this list is, guys. It's just so fucking long. It goes on. It goes on. It goes on. Oh, hi, Laurie. Okay, sweetie. The list. I'm just so shocked of how many people have been killed, you know, and it's so shocking. What have trans people ever done to anyone else? You know what I mean? It's just people with their insecurities that do this kind of thing to people. South America, 2017, 2018, Turkey, Pakistan, France, Europe, United Kingdom. Naomi Hers, 36, was found stabbed to death in her Heathrow Palace in London at 10:30 on Sunday the 18th, 2018. Jesse McDonald, 24, from Hanslow was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison, of which he will serve the minimum of 20 years. The pair met on a swingers website and spent 3 days together before the assault. MacDonald, then 17-year-old girlfriend, who responded to his call for assistance. So his girlfriend actually tried to help him cover up murdering a transgendered person. People are just so evil. They really are. Really evil. Australia, Europe. Call these numbers, guys. So many people, isn't it? It's just so sad. It's sort of like it's ongoing. Call these, look. These are all people. Look at all these names. Just so many of them. I'm just so lucky, you know what I mean? Sort of like what happened to me in Newcastle, you know what I mean? Sort of like I could have been sort of like one of these names on this list. It's just so many people. And something needs to be done about it. People need to be educated. Just leave people alone. So like, why can't people just leave people alone to live their own lives? You know what I mean? Authentically. It's just ridiculous. It really is. So many names. This is 2019 alone, look. 2019. What a world we're living in, you know what I mean? It's scary. Dana Martin, a trans woman of colour, was found shot to death in her vehicle in a roadside ditch about 11 p.m. on Sunday, the 6th of January, in Alabama. She was shot whilst driving, and the police, as 10th of January, police continue to investigate, but no leads. What a surprise. You know what I mean? They never seem to investigate properly. You know what I mean? They don't seem to do anything to help trans people. They just don't give a shit. They pretend. It's like this one, transphobic hate crimes surged by 37% in just 1 year, whilst homophobic hate crimes are up by a quarter. Reports of hate crimes, transgender people have risen by 37% in just 1 year, according to alarming new figures. The Home Office data published on Tuesday confirms that hate crimes against transgender people in England and Wales are growing at a faster rate for any other protected group. There were 2,333 reported hate crimes against transgender people in England and Wales from April 2018 to March 2019. So how bad is that, guys? It's getting even worse here in the UK now. Anti-transgender hate crime has quadrupled since 2014 to 2015, when just 607 such crimes were recorded. Some people are just too scared to report it to the police because they know the police are not going to do anything to help them, make them feel even worse in the first place. You know what I mean? I've been attacked and stuff like I haven't even bothered speak to the police because I just know what kind of stuff like reaction I will get from them. They're useless. You know what I mean? It's just so scary. Let's get rid of that one. Get rid of that. Violence. Okay. Why's that come up? Piss off. Violence against the transgender community in 2019. In 2018, advocates tracked at least 26 deaths of at least transgender or non-conforming people in the USA due to fatal violence. The majority of whom were Black transgender women. These victims were killed by acquaintances, partners, and strangers, some of whom have been arrested and charged, whilst others have yet to be identified. It's just shocking, it really is. It's just so scary that these numbers are going up in the UK, you know what I mean? I'm lucky that I can live my life, but I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? There's things that I want to have done to my face, so I no longer like have stuff like abuse of people. But you never know when it's going to happen. Some people see me as a female, some people don't. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? But it's just getting more and more and more scary. You know what I mean? The amount of times that I was sort of like assaulted and stuff in Newcastle when I lived there, it was just shocking, really. It was just so bad. But these are sort of like some of the names. Dana Martin, 31, a Black transgendered woman, was fatally shot in Alabama. Yeah, I've read that one. Boyd, an Alabama-based trans advocate. That's that one, okay. Jaslyn Ware, a 34 Black transgender woman from Memphis. Her death is being investigated as a homicide, according to the advocate. Our community in Memphis is mourning the death of Jaslyn Ware, a Black transgendered woman and beloved friend, said a transgender law center in a press release. For further details unknown. It's just so bad, it really is. Why can't people just get on? Why can't people sort of like just love each other and be supportive of each other? Why does there have to be so much hate flying around? LGBT in Britain, hate crime and discrimination. 1 in 5 LGBT people have experienced hate crime or incident because of their sexual orientation or gender identity in the last 12 months. 2 in 5 trans people have experienced a hate crime or an incident because of their gender identity in the last 12 months. This world is becoming such a scary place, it really is. It's Stonewall's new research highlighting the shocking levels of hate crime and discrimination that the LGBT people face in Britain today. Based on u.gov polling over 5,000 LGBT people in the research, reveals anti-LGBT abuse extends far beyond acts of hate and violence on the streets. Many LGBT people have endured poor treatment whilst using public services and going about their lives, whether in their local shop, gym, or place of work. It's just so shocking, isn't it, guys? Why has that gone off? I'm sorry for all you went. I'm going to try and keeping this open whilst I get my voice Starbucks. Okay, Laura. So key findings: hate crime. Yeah, I've read that one out. Sexual orientation or gender. 2 in 5 trans people, 41%, have experienced hate crime accidentally because of their gender in the last 12 months. The number of lesbian and gay bisexual people have experienced hate crime in the last year because of their sexual orientation has risen to 78% since 2013 to 2017. 4 in 5 LGBT people, 81% who have experienced hate crime or incident didn't report it to the police. What a surprise, because I haven't. Because the police are useless. They pretend that they care, but they don't. They're just as bad, really. Three in 10 LGBT people, 29%, avoid certain streets because they don't feel safe. There are an LGBT person. Okay. More than a third of LGBT people, 36%, say they don't feel comfortable walking down the street whilst holding their partner's hand. This increases to 3 in 5 gay men, 58%. People should be allowed to hold their partner's hands. What's people's problems? If you don't like something, don't look at it. Leave people alone. Simple as. 1 in 10 LGBT people, 10%, have experienced homophobic bigotry. I can't pronounce that word. Or transphobic abuse online directed towards them personally in the last month. The number has increased to 1 in 4 for trans people. 26% directly experienced transphobic abuse in the last month. It's just so fucking crazy. Discrimination in daily life. 1 in 10 LGBT people, 10%, who are looking for a house or a flat to rent or buy in the last year were discriminated against because of their sexual orientation, which is disgusting. Why does gender or sexual orientation have to come into it? You know what I mean? If you're trying to get a property or something, it's ridiculous. Your gender or anything shouldn't come into that. It should be so that you're a good person, that you pay your rent, you pay your mortgage. You know what I mean? Why do people care about people's gender if they're trans, gay, or whatever? What's their problem? One in 6 LGBT people, 17%, who have visited a cafe, restaurant, bar, nightclub in the last 12 months have been discriminated against based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. 1 in 4 Black, Asian, minorities, ethnic LGBT people, 24% assessing social services in the last year have been discriminated against because of their sexual orientation by people that should be helping them. It's bloody ridiculous. Almost 3 in 10 LGBT people, 28%, who have visited a faith service like a church, for instance, or a place of worship in the last 12 months have experienced discrimination. 1 in 10 LGBT people, 10%, who have attended a live sporting event in the last year have experienced discrimination because of their sexual orientation. Again, the kind of world that we live in. These are some people's stories, what respondents said. I had one incident where girls did not want to enter the bathroom stall I had used despite a large queue. Like as I was infected, straight people don't know how privileged they are not to have their love questioned or have romantic days out and not think about it. Not think about who is around you or how safe you are. Rachel, 22, London. Freya, 21, Wales. I was assaulted by a man whilst holding hands with my lesbian partner. He grabbed me from behind and thrust himself into me, then verbally attacked me. Leo, 53, Northeast. I had an occasion to report that I had been harassed and suffered an injury. I talked, they listened, but it was their attitude, and I got the impression that it was not being taken seriously. Yeah, and how that feels, Leo. That's why we just don't have any trust in the police or anything, you know what I mean? So like trans people, gay people, lesbian people. Just have no faith in the justice system here in the UK because we're not taken seriously. It's like when I was assaulted in Newcastle, so they were like, oh, what did you do wrong? What did you do? It's like, I did nothing. So this is a trans woman called Gwen Araho. She was murdered 14 years ago today. There is a movie made about her life. It's called A Girl Like Me, the Gwen Araho story, which is really good. But I've watched it once, but it's very upsetting, especially to another trans person to watch it. So wasn't she so beautiful? She was murdered by someone that she thought was a friend of this girl. So she went to a party thinking that her ex-boyfriend was there, and it was all set up to murder her. But this girl was sort of like so jealous of her because Gwen would get so much attention from sort of like different men, and this girl was so jealous. This girl sort of like found out she was trans and she told everyone, and they set her up to be murdered. So there is a film made about Gwen was brutally murdered today. She is admired activist for the transgender cause, even though the horror of Gwen's fate has upended her life. Gwen, often called a woman, was really just a 90-pound girl with no chances against 4 drunken young men. It's 4 drunken young men that murdered her, including 2 who had sexually intimate with her. Gororo said the they viciously beat and strangled Gwen to death at a Newark house party on October the 4th, 2002, after they confirmed she was biologically male. And so how can people do this to people, you know what I mean? Sort of like murder people for no reason. She was just trying to live her life. And there's people like that are just jealous because sort of she looked better than what they do. 14 years later, 2 men convicted of second-degree murder faced a parole board for the first time this week. In the world more aware of what it means to be transgender, to be a transgender person, and the dangers the trans community faces, Jose Marcel, 36, was granted parole on Friday with the support of jurors pending review from the Board of Parole Hearings. You should be in prison for life. You took someone's life, they should be in prison for life. They shouldn't be allowed to be released. I hate this when they say this kind of thing, trans gay panic. So like they try to use that as an excuse for murdering someone. The men had claimed a gay trans panic. A murder defense later made illegal in California in Gwen's name. Said they're not allowed to do that anymore, thank God. They use that excuse, in trans gay panic. It's like assholes. Said they're not allowed to use that excuse no longer, thank God. In Gwen's name, with the help of jurors' activism, she has made a promise beside her daughter's casket that she would be her voice until people stop dying for who they are. My daughter in 2002 brought the trans community to the forefront, and change has begun since then. Guerrero, who returned to her activism from trans community, speaking to engagement in Fullerton next month. For more than 1 decade after Gwen's death, she spoke at an event about her daughter's murder and struggled for trans rights. And events before taking a break of several years, she is excited to return to activism, working on this cause. We still have a long way to go because people like Gwen are still being murdered for who they are, and their families are suffering like we are, said Jerome. We have a long way to go before trans people can be free to live their lives, to live out their dreams and goals like they deserve. It's just so sad. That's Gwen's mother there. Gwen Arajo's mother. It's just so sad. That's Gwen's mother there. I need to meet that stupid name. Murdered and hanged and lynched 331 trans people killed this year. 331 trans and gender diverse people have been killed this year, says a new report. It's just so shocking. Trans Day of Remembrance is a day which remembers those trans and gender diverse people who have been victims of homicide. It's just so sad when all people want to do is just live their lives, simple as they just want to live their lives. Look at all these photographs, guys, look. Just all trans people that have died, that have committed suicide or been murdered because of hate. It's just so effing sad, honestly. I like to do something like once a year for sort of like Trans Day of Remembrance, and these people should always be remembered. Just so many. It's just so sad. And it's just getting worse and worse. It really is. People don't see us as human, you know what I mean? I had someone sort of like transphobically like attack me when I lived in Newcastle, so like on the streets as well, and I went up to them sort of like to confront them, and I got assaulted off someone else. So I was like, I'm human, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? I was like, you're fucking wankers. But they don't care. They don't see trans people as human. We're like aliens to them. Just more and more. It's just so effing scary. It's like no wonder some trans people are just so scared to go out on a daily basis because of fucking people like this that are just so insecure about themselves. They make the trans person look like the bad person, you know what I mean? But we're not the bad people, they are. It's just so sad. It really is. Oh, there's Theo. Hey Theo, you alright? This is the one that shocked me the most, just all those names. It's just so sad. I'm just so grateful to be alive because I could have been killed myself a few times, you know what I mean? I've been in some dangerous situations. That's why I'm so dubious of escorting and stuff again. I want the money, but I'm just so nervous of letting people in my home. You know what I mean? So I'm just so you just have to be so careful. Yeah, because there was a murder of a trans person on this website called Fab Swingers, I think it was. Yeah, this is the one here. Yeah, okay. Man jailed for 20 years for murdering a transgender woman. And he's horrible. A man has been jailed for at least 20 years for murdering a transgender woman during a sex and drugs binge. Jesse McDonald, 25, contacted 36-year-old Naomi Hurst through a dating site called Fab Swingers that Old Bailey had. After days together, McDonald drugged and stabbed the hospitable worker to death with a knife and a broken bottle at a hotel near Heathrow Airport where he was staying. He hid in his room and waited for his 18-year-old girlfriend, Natalie, to help him clean up. It's just shocking, it really is. Jurors were told. But this plan to dispose of the body was scrabbled when police found the victim lying half naked, partly covered by a rug in the bathroom floor. And this is in the UK, guys, in the UK. MacDonald denied murder, claiming to have acted in self-defense. Bollocks. He and Suffolk from Tuxbridge, Bristol, were both known preventing the course of justice for the killing in March. The couple wept and embraced in the dock as they were found guilty of the charges at a trial at the Old Bailey in October. MacDonald was jailed for life with a minimum term of 20 years for murder, with 30 months concurrent for sentences for the second offence. The judge, Michael Dennis, QC, rejected the defendant's claim he was drugged and raped and held in a death grip by the victim. He was held in a death grip by a victim, by her. I don't think so. It's like when you start hormones, you don't have to be post-surgery, you lose a lot of strength. I realized that with my ex-boyfriend, so they tried to murder me years ago. I tried to get him off me, I just couldn't get him off me, he was too strong. So I just think that guy's a complete lie saying so she had him in sort of like a death lock. Are you kidding me? But at least he's getting life in prison, so I'm pleased about that. So he's getting life in prison for murdering her. But it's so shocking, isn't it, guys? It really is. I'm fine, thanks. Twiddling with bits and pieces, temperature gauge, and carbon monoxide detector. He looks like a right creep. He does, doesn't he? It's ridiculous. Death grip by the victim. He pointed out his captivity from mixing up fact and fiction, says MacDonald. He had complete disregard for anyone but himself. The judge said this was dreadful assault on someone who, it would appear, will have been in no position to respond to an attack by you using a weapon. It's like I've actually been on this website, Fab Swingers. It's a website that quite a lot of people use here in the UK. So it's one website I won't be using again, that's for sure. In a victim impact statement, Hersey's family described her as a sweet, trusting person who was funny, carefree. Her sister, Aman, a hospital doctor, was the first to hear the news of her death whilst at work. Her father, Mohammed, described the murder as ultimate injustice. He said, our lives will never be the same. The grief has swallowed us up. It's consuming us. I'm not surprised. It must be so horrible to find out that your family member, this beautiful trans person, I just wanted to meet someone that just wanted to be someone to care about her, hopefully, you know what I mean, and stuff like he ends up killing her. In the victim's statement, how she's family described. No. Yeah, I've just read that. MacDonald's parents who attended the trial sent a letter to the judge expressing their sorrow. This the bitch that helped her boyfriend to try and sort of like clean up the evidence of murdering a trans person. Fucking bitch, honestly, I'd love to see you and fucking rip your fucking bleached hair out your head. The trial held that MacDonald, who grew up in West Sussex, turned to dealing drugs and trading Bitcoin after dropping out of a London School of Economics. Academic career that was cut short when his drink was spiked in 2014. On the 12th of March, he was contacted Hershey within 45 minutes of arriving at the Heathrow Palace Hotel in Hounslow from visiting his girlfriend. He drove to the victim's home in Mill Hill, northwest London, where he stayed for 3 days. He stayed in her house for 3 days before he murdered her in the hotel. It's like these guys on stage, they had oh, I'm just so pleased that he's in prison, because if I ever saw him, I'd fucking torture his ass. That's why I just don't bother meeting men and stuff, because you just never know what you're meeting, you know what I mean? You just have to be extremely careful and cautious of everyone, especially these days. Yeah, where he stayed for 3 days before they both went to the hotel room in Hounslow. Throughout the period, MacDonald is said to have ignored his girlfriend, frequently attempts to get in touch with him. That's his bitch of a girlfriend there. But on the 16th of March, he sent her a message saying, "Baby, I've been a fucking idiot." Another read, "I love you so much. Not cheated, kiss, got addicted to a nasty drug I have never met before." Oh, what an excuse. He then told her he had got a big drug dealer lying across the floor. A big drug dealer lying across the floor? Are you fucking serious? Lying across the floor, adding, "won't wake up." Massive black guy. So he's misgendering a transgendered woman that he's just murdering by calling her a big black guy lying on the floor that he's just murdered. Are you fucking serious? Whilst the defendants were cleaning up, MacDonald phoned his mother and claimed that he had been chained up for days and drugged with GHB and repeatedly raped. Are you serious? All these fucking lies come out this fucking guy's mouth, saying that he was tied up and drugged with GHB by sort of this trans person that's been proven to be sort of like such a nice person. So, oh my god, how sick fucking, oh, these sick fucks. MacDonald allegedly, he had been stabbed Hershey up to 14 times in a frenzy. 40 times? You have to stab someone 40 times? Believing she was about to smother him with a pillow. Are you fucking serious? His mother phoned the police after a conversation with her son. The defendant also offered his landlord a designer watch if he cleared up his room before confessing he had killed someone. Someone heard the jurors heard 10 minutes after the call. Police arrived at the property and found Hershey's body, and the murder weapon. The defendants were tracked down to a hotel in Teddington and arrested during this police interview. MacDonald continued to claim that he had been bound and raped. What a fucking dick. Given evidence that the defendant said he had contacted Hershey's online because he was a complete idiot. His girlfriend's been sentenced too, so rot in prison, bitch. Since you were here. Oh, this is what he actually said to someone, I don't know. Since you're here, we have a small favour to ask. More people like you are reading and supporting the Guardian's independent. Yeah, it's nothing to do with that. Isn't it just so shocking, guys? That someone can just be murdered by that vile creature. Look at the state of him, honestly. Look at the state of that. You vile, disgusting fucking bastard. Isn't that vile? It's just vile. I hate fucking creeps like that. I seriously hate them. It must be the same one. Yeah, it is the same one. University dropout. It just shows what kind of person he was, doesn't it? And no hope, honestly, you fucking evil piece of shit. I hope someone makes you their fucking bitch in prison, honestly. Just so evil. So when's this ever gonna stop? I just don't think it's ever gonna stop. It's like gay people are sort of like just starting to be accepted now by people. But I don't think trans people ever will, to be honest with you. I don't think we will ever by these people. What was the reason for meeting up with her in the first place, Yasmin? It doesn't say Theo, but sort of like he must have had a thing for trans women, but he's sort of like trying to claim sort of that he was raped and sort of like tied up by this trans person, so trying to get his way out of like killing her, you know what I mean? It's crazy. All these fucking stories that people come out with to sort of like try and save their own skin because they have a thing for transgender people and he didn't want his girlfriend to know that he had a thing for transgendered people. Man kill trans, same one, isn't it? Like, so she was beautiful, you know what I mean? So what's people's problems? Just leave people alone. It's just so sad. It really upsets me, you know what I mean? So that things like this are happening still on a daily basis, you know what I mean? It's scary. The first offender. That must be his bitch of a girlfriend there. Enjoy your life in prison, bitch. Enjoy your life in fucking prison. Just shows what a damn fuck she must be for, so like coming all that way to help a boyfriend clear up a fucking murder scene. Are you fucking serious? Are these people just so thick in the head that they would help their boyfriend clear up a murder scene? Are you fucking serious? It's just so fucking ridiculous. It's like people like her find it funny, you know what I mean? She looks like the bitch that sort of like transphobically abused me in Newcastle. She doesn't laugh when I went up to her and got in her face. Accuser says I was a complete idiot for getting involved with a transgender woman. After a 3-day sex and drug binge. Well, he met up with her in the first place because she was trans, because he had a thing for transgendered women. You know what I mean? But so he was doing it behind his girlfriend's back. And then his girlfriend comes in and sort of like helps him clear up the fucking murder scene. What's wrong with people these days? Honestly, why can't people just be so kind to each other? It's just ridiculous. Trans murderer returns to prison. Who's that? Ew. The numbers just going up and up. Annual murders 0.89. Man charged with murder of transgender into. Yeah, that's the UK as well, I think. Amy Griffiths. Man charged with murder of transgender woman, Amy Griffiths. Amy Griffiths, aged 51, was discovered by police officers at her flat on Monday, January 14th. Amy, whose name has been given into court as Michael Griffiths, had. Why did they have to dead name people? Had a throat injury and was declared dead at the scene. Someone called Martin, 53, from Brackley Close in Surrey, was charged with murder of Amy. I just hate these people that sort of like do this to people that just want to live their lives simple as. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel so sad, it really does. Yeah, I can't believe she died as well. Miriam. Does anyone remember Miriam? I can't believe she died as well. It's just so sad. Miriam Riviera, first trans star found dead at 38. There's something about Miriam. The Mexican model died in February, but news has only emerged she was 38, according to the Mail. It's caused controversy at the same time male contestants. She went on to appear in Big Brother Australia. Told the Daily Mail she was found dead, but she was cremated before the autopsy was carried out. Why was she cremated before the autopsy was carried out? Trying to cover up something, obviously. You know, if someone cremates a body, you know, it's a like, surely she must have known what her boyfriend was getting up to. He surely must have mentioned something about his liking for transgender girl. Did she have the full conversion done? I don't know, it doesn't say. I don't know if she had like the full transition. I really don't know for you. I was just so shocked when I found out that Miriam died. She fought a very hard battle, the producer added. It was something about what kind of a strong, courageous, and brave person that she was. Does anyone remember Miriam? She was great. She was just so beautiful. Can't believe she's died though. In 2017, trans writer and comedian Shannon Fay, who watched the show when she was in her teens, told the New Statesman, "It simply confirmed that I was a joke." And it's like, why can't people just be people and just leave them alone? She was beautiful. Miriam will come back later. Neighbour coming around for a chat. Okay, Thea. Thanks for popping in, sweetie. I don't mind if people don't watch anyway, so they'll watch later, so I don't really care. Right. I just can't believe she's died. It's just such a shame. She was so beautiful. Murdered transgender woman was a hero in the community. How sad that. Some that so like did a lot for her community. That's Amy Griffiths, the one that I read out earlier on. She was a hero in her community, and she was murdered by someone that she thought was a friend. Transgender woman who was suspected was murdered has been hailed a hero to her community. Amy Griffiths, 51, was found dead on Monday, January the 14th, in her flat in Worcester, central England. West Mercia police said that she had suffered throat and head injuries. Martin, 53, has been charged with murdering the transgender woman and is due to appear at Worcester Crown Court on Friday the 18th, according to the local newspaper. Isn't it just so sad? It really is. Just let people be who they are, just leave people alone. Yeah, there was a trans person set on fire in Brighton as well. I remember reading that one years ago. Ew, what a vile piece of shit. A murderer who killed a transgender prostitute has been given an infinite jail term. Haha, you're going to be in prison for life, cunt. This is the kind of thing that scares me. Just the thing that scares me, you know, ends up with doing adult work and stuff. This is the kind of thing that scares me. It petrifies me that there's people like this walking around. Well, he's no longer walking around because he's in prison, but I will come back later. Okay. It's just so scary. It really is. Macmillan was jailed for life in June for the murder of Andrea Radel. Yeah, this is the one, and setting fire to her flat in Upper Lewis Road in October 2009. What a shame, sweetheart. Rest in peace. Rest in power, honey. Rest in power. It's just so fucking sad. The core head 27-year-old rape victim had gone to the hotel room where Macmillan was staying to collect money that he owed her, but he raped her. Yeah, these are just the things that really scare me, that stop me from doing escorting and stuff again, because it really, really does scare me. I don't want to be one of them names on that list at some point. I don't want to be that. Oh, fuck off, bitch. Look at the state of you. It says, transgender woman demands apology and over 2,500 compensation over claims of Southern Rail staff twice called her sir. It could be the first ever trans MP, really. God, look how many stabbings. The leading cause of death was stabbing. First 100 homicides, 2019. Stabbed, fuck, assaulted, fire, shot, strangled. Hmm. I've got 3 people watching again. Recent developments. This page is about crime committed by unconfirmed by these fake stories. Now, what is happening here in the UK is like we're not even allowed to use toilets around here in the UK. I don't like to use public toilets anyway. You know, it's one place that I would never. I'd rather hold on until I go home than use the public toilet. Fact check how many trans people have been murdered in the UK. This Tuesday was International Trans Day of Remembrance. Estimates that there are between 200,000 and 500,000 trans people in the UK. That includes the 4,900 people given. Report says that there were 369 reported murders of trans and gender diverse people between the 1st of October and the 30th of September 2018 around the world. Nearly half of those, 167, took place in Brazil and a further 28 in the United States. So we are quite lucky to have the protection that we do have in this country. And like other countries like America and Brazil and stuff, trans people don't have the rights that we have here. So we are quite lucky that way. We are lucky to have the support that we need, but there are a lot of transgender stuff like people that hate transgender people in the UK, and you just have to be so careful. You really do, especially around here where I live. I'm just so pleased that I haven't had one bit of abuse since I moved to Manchester. So I'm really pleased about that, so that I don't have to tolerate that kind of behavior from people anymore. So I'm really pleased. But I'm glad that I made a little video so that I to support my trans sisters and brothers and stuff out there once a year. So who is watching in the background? Is Harvey still alive? I don't know. Will I meet this a second? Yeah, Harvey must have finished his stream. Oh, 3 people watching. Yeah, I might go out on my bike tomorrow. I still need to get one of them holders for my bike. So I was dropped down to one person. Thanks for your support, guys. Not. Thanks for your support, guys. Not. Dishes and set. My fucking gum is hurt and stuff. Still heading. It is still heading. I'll just put those dishes in sink. Oh, he's just messaged me. It's just mama. I don't know why I bother with this half the time. People are assholes. Oh, people are assholes. Oh, God, I wish this weather would have brightened up a bit. Honestly, this weather is doing my head in. It is doing my head in, honey. Right, I'm going to end the stream here. I just thought I should do a little bit for Trans Remembrance Day, which is today, the 20th of November. And it is 15:53, so I'll speak to everyone later. Goodbye.